This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
With so much time, I was like, I was like, babe, for a long time, I wouldn't get a microphone
or nothing.
No, because I was just so determined to just be unique.
Yeah.
And I was like thinking that unique was being humble and broke. And basically not putting into, which I was at first. And then I was just like, babe, I don't need no microphone. They don't need to see. But it looks more professional.
And not like my mama's kitchen.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. So.
Which, and like I said, if I enjoy it, why not show off
and make it and polish it more and be exactly what I want it to be?
Yeah.
I totally get that. That's where people keep asking me, like, why you haven't put your book out? You keep saying it's getting edited, because it is. And
right. You think editing is overnight?
And it's not. And I don't want something that people are used to me being ghetto and for it to be ghetto.
Yeah.
You know?
Facts. No, that's real.
I always wanted to be a writer, and I'm finally doing it, so why not put all of it into it? This is what you love.
Yeah.
Put it all into it.
Yeah.
Not to do what people expect for you to do.
Exactly. Hey, y'all come on in. Without further ado, let's get it started.
It's for the Couch Chronicles, where there ain't no fucking limits.
Every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday from 8 Central Time. You don't never want to miss a couch. And now we're live every Wednesday and Friday from 9:30 a.m. Central Time. That's every day of the week. Yeah, tune in. You don't want to miss this shit. It's the Couch Chronicles, where they know what? I know you said it.
Okay, we're going to jump into one song and we're going to jump right into the couch. It's the Couch Chronicles, where it ain't no fucking limits.
I look like and feel like I'm $1,000,000. I'm feeling myself for real. I'm on my way. The way I walk looks like a dance. And baby, that's just how I feel. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling right. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling myself. I am. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling right. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling right. It's the Couch Chronicles, early mornings on the couch, that is, every Wednesday and Friday from 9:30 a.m. Central Time. Come catch a vibe with the couch. If you ain't gotta work, then you better keep your pajamas on. Get your tea, your coffee, whatever you drink, and whatever you smoke. Because Wednesdays and Fridays is the time to relax, chilling, vibing, you know. If you would like to be a live guest, if you in the Oklahoma City area, DM me now. Trust me when I say you don't want to miss this vibe. Are you feeling good? I'm feeling good. That's how you supposed to feel in the morning. 1, 2, 3, let's go! I look like and feel like I'm $1,000,000. I'm feeling myself for real. I'm on my way. The way I walk looks like a dance. And baby, that's just how I feel. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling right. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling myself. I am. I'm feeling good. Sometimes you gotta wake yourself up and I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling good.
Okay, y'all, it's the Couch Chronicles, where it ain't no fucking limits. Yes, I like to start off the early mornings with the early morning theme song, because sometimes we wake up and we don't always feel 100%. And sometimes when we turn on the right music or something that always we know will get us up and jumping. So I made that theme song for the couch because I'm like, I be liking to feel like I need to be jumping in the mornings. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Nobody wants to be sluggish.
today is the last day of prison jail felon talk, and I'm super excited to have my girl Rae here with me. One, can you tell everybody who you are and where you're from?
Well, my name is Rae Stewart.
Mhm.
I am originally from Phoenix, Arizona. Shout out to
Period.
the South Side.
Hey.
12th Way. I've been in Oklahoma. I moved here in my young 30s. Oh, dang. I kind of telling my age a little bit.
It's okay.
It's all right. I'm about to be 41 and I love it.
Period. Phoenix,
I'm
Arizona in the comments.
I'm a mom of 3.
Mhm.
I have a 13-year-old, almost 12-year-old, and a 4-year-old.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay. Yes. Actually, my wife used to live in Arizona. So
Oh, yes.
yes. Now, one, I got you on here today for prison jail felon talk,
Absolutely.
and you haven't done any time. Can we let
No.
everybody know the
I've
reason
never
why? Mhm.
done any time. I've never been in trouble like that before in my life. I grew up with parents who's been in prison.
Mhm.
So my dad went to prison when I was 5, almost 6,
Mhm.
and he was there for like 10 years the first time. It didn't get out till I was like about to be a freshman in high school.
Mhm.
Then he was out for about 2.5 years and went back.
Mhm.
Didn't get out till I was like literally grown,
Mm.
you know, like 20
Right.
or so. And my mother, she went to prison when I was younger as well too, and when I was older.
Mhm.
But I didn't grow up with neither one of them. I grew up with my great grandma. She
Mhm.
raised me
Mhm.
and my brother.
Wow. Now, you said 5 years old that your father first went to prison.
Yeah.
At the tender age of 5, some of us don't even remember, what we did when we were 5, or even some memories when we were 5. It's predominant for you because, I mean,
It was a hard thing, and I will never forget the day when my grandma told me, like that my dad wasn't coming back,
Mhm.
and I've been used to seeing my dad all the time,
Mhm.
and I lived with him and his wife,
Mhm.
and I was sitting in I was in the kitchen,
Mhm.
and my grandma was in the kitchen too, and we were washing dishes, and
Wow. You see how you remember the exact things you were doing.
and I remember what I had on, what my grandma had on. She had on this muumuu that was purple and gold, and these Jordan slippers, sliding. She always used to wear Jordan slidings. Okay, like that was Maylee thing. And we was in the kitchen and we were washing dishes,
Mhm.
and she was like, "Baby, I want to tell you before everybody else is gonna tell you." And I said, "Well, what's wrong, Nene?" Because I kept asking her, like, "Why my daddy ain't come get me yet?" And she was like, "He ain't coming back for a long time." And I said, "Is he dead?" And she said, "No, he went to jail." And I just was like, I just stared at her. And then she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was just like, "Well, why?" And she was just like, "Because he decided that he wanted to be grown."
Mhm.
And she said, "You gonna stay with me?" And I just didn't say anything to her after. I just was just looking at her, and I was just like, "Okay, Nene." And then I just walked away, and I went into the den, and I sat in the den, and we was watching TV. She was watching The Price is Right,
Mhm.
and she was sit down in her chair, and she was like, "Come here," and I went to sit on her lap, and I just started crying, and everything was just different, like I really don't remember being with my mom, because my mom she went to prison when I was little, like a little baby, like 2 or 3 or so.
Mm.
And then my mom was, on drugs. Like I'm an 80s baby. My mama was a crackhead, so I didn't grow up with neither one of them. They were both gone.
Mhm.
And we were in the system for a while, and but we stayed with a few family members, but the majority of the time we stayed with my great grandma, and my dad was the only one of his siblings at the time who had kids that went to prison. My dad didn't grow up with parents that were in that kind of life, that went to prison, were drug dealers or anything like that. You know, granted, they passed away when he was like a teenager, but they weren't those kind of people. He had a loving home. And so, you know, I don't know what made him want to do those, whatever was happening, you know. And honestly, I don't know why he went to prison.
I was going to ask that.
I can't even tell you why. I just know that he told me, like, when he got out the first time, I was like 15, and we were at my Aunt Diane's house. God rest her soul. And he was paroled there, and I spent the night with him, and that was the first time I ever spent the night with my dad in a long time. You know, it's different when you just go see them in prison. You're just there for a few hours. Yeah. And I asked him, and I was like, you know, Dad, like, why did you do? Why did you go to prison? He was just like, I held this man hostage. And he just left it at that. And I just stared at him. Like,
you know, because from an adult's point of view, or I guess from somebody who's done time, because you don't have to be an adult to do time.
No, you don't.
From a felon's point of view, sometimes we think that the longer we stay in prison, the more people already know. Like, they already know why we... Yeah. So in his mind, he probably was thinking,
somebody told her.
She fucking know. Like, and,
and my family never told us anything. You know, like, my grandma never told us what happened. We never saw, like, court or, like, none of that. Nothing. All I knew is that my dad was in prison and my mama was doing her.
Right.
You know? And she was doing her, but doing her in our neighborhood, like, on our side of town. You know what I'm saying? And so...
Damn, so you had to see that.
So sometimes I did see her, but sometimes, a lot of times I didn't. You know, like, if someone passed away, then she might come around if she like, really cared about the person or whatnot. But I mean, she would just look horrible. Yeah, and it was just heartbreaking. My other cousins, and, you know, they had, like, their parents were there. Their parents got to be there for their milestones, celebrate them.
Right.
And we had a lot of girls, my age group. And my dad's age group had a lot of boys. And, you know, I don't know what men think when they have daughters, but from a grown woman who never had her dad, Lord and Jesus help me, who never had her dad, when you grow up not knowing and seeing a man around, don't get me wrong, my uncles and stuff were around, but not in my household.
Right.
It was me and my grandma and my aunts and her kids who were girls, and me and my brother, you know. My grandma, she was my great grandma. So she was old. She wasn't young.
Right.
You know, she was born in 1929, October 10th. She was old. Taught me a lot, though. Put some respect on Mary Lee Chest's name. Taught me a lot. Made me the woman who I am. But not being able to ask my dad, you know, about guys, you know, how to see a man treating a woman, what to say, what to look for in a predator, or, you know, things like that. And I grew up in the ghetto, okay? And back then when I was younger, you know, and a lot of men, they get in trouble for it now, but when I was younger, you know, it was a thing for older guys to talk to young girls. It wasn't like you were going to get in trouble. And I'm sorry if that offends anybody.
No, no, this is real though.
These men, I didn't know, but they're from my neighborhood, but they grew up with my dad, you know, and my whole family lives in the Vistas and grew up there. So I have family live on every block, okay, every street. And so my grandma would tell me, you know, walk around the corner to my Aunt Fatima house and get something, get this. And as a young girl, when your body's changing and you have not your mom around or your dad, and you rely on other family members to teach you things, and when you don't get taught it and you have to learn it for yourself. And I remember clear as day, grown men that I still know now, trying to talk to me, telling me how sexy I look. And I'm a kid, like my daughter's age. My daughter's about to be 12. And to have to learn how to ignore it, not say nothing, learn who you can trust and can't trust to talk to those things about. Oh my God, it's such a heartbreaking situation. And everybody was just more concerned about like wanting to take care of the person in prison, but not caring about us, like his kids. And I never told anybody about those men whistling or trying to talk to me or saying this or saying that. You know, I just walked on about my business. But to go home, and I walked through my door, and it's just my grandma sitting there. And how can I tell her, oh, such and such is doing this or saying this, or, you know, they're not touching me, but they are violating me.
Yeah.
And they knew who my dad was. To say, oh no, that's Raymond's daughter. She growing up looking so nice. Those things stay in your mind when you're growing. They're hurtful. I try my best. You know, people ask me, why did I leave Arizona? You know, when my grandma died, it broke me. It broke the hell out of my family. And it took us 12 years last year for us to come back together and to be a family. And even though I don't have a 2-parent household for my kids, girls from where I'm from who grow up how I grew up, 2 things happen. Either you have someone that's there for you and pushing you, and you go to school and you work your ass off and you get out, or it swallows you the fuck up. And I've seen it with my own eyes, and it was swallowing me up. And I'll be damned if my children grew up in the system. I'd be damned if my daughter has someone making her feel that way and she couldn't come to me. It's such a sad, lonely place to be as a kid. And when you go to these prisons, you know, I've been to every prison damn near that they have in Arizona, and not by choice. You know, my grandma wasn't like that.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have a choice. You're going to see your dad. And it's not like family members was taking me. No, it's this girl, you know, whoever the woman of the choice was, you know,
For your dad.
for my dad, you know, taking me and my brother to go and see him. Yeah.
Now, did you think it was because he was in a relationship with them, or?
So, I mean, I don't know how you can think you're in a relationship with a man who's in prison and who's married to someone else. And I mean, granted, she couldn't see him because she was in prison too. So, you know, you knew, like, these women, these ladies, you know, they knew that my dad was married. And so that's a choice that they made. Did I know them? Yeah. I go ride with them every damn weekend. Some of them would come pick us up, take us shopping, do, you know, like, that's whatever he told them to do, I guess, type thing, you know. I don't know. All I know is that, and I hope no one takes this offensive. This is just my opinion and how I feel.
Yeah, this is,
For me, growing up and going to a prison almost every weekend to see my dad and to see these ladies and how he talked to them, treat them, and all these things, right? And all these other men in there too. And you see all this. How can I trust anything that you're telling me when I feel that you're lying to me just as much as you're lying to them sitting here too? How can you really get to know someone who's in a system and they're broken too? How am I supposed to tell my dad that I'm broken inside and I'm sad when he's just going to tell me, stop crying, stop wearing your heart on your shoulders? This is what life is. Get over it. I'm here. There's nothing that can be done. What you sitting here crying for? You gonna be sad the whole 8-hour visit, or are you gonna get over it? I don't want to hear that shit. And as a young girl, when I want to tell my dad what's happening outside of these walls, and for you to tell me to not to wear my heart on my shoulders and to get the fuck over it, of course that breaks you down.
Yeah.
Of course that makes you feel like you're nothing. Of course that makes you feel like that's how a man's supposed to talk to you. Because when I come here, not only your words, but your actions show it too. Your body language and everything. Because you're getting mad. And then when I don't, you want to walk away. I mean, you don't have far to go, but just outside, you know. But you leave instead of listening to me and being there. You can't be there for me every day when this shit is going on outside of these walls and all of this stuff is happening to me. But when I come here on these weekends when I'm losing time, when my grandma tell me, oh, you can't go to cheer camp, y'all can't go to basketball, you can't spend a night here, you can't do this, you can't do that, because you gotta stop your life to go to a prison to be with someone who doesn't give a fuck about how you feel. It's just about them. It's just about them. Never about wanting to ask me how I feel. No. None of my family ever asks us how we feel about going to see our dad in prison. How do you feel him not being around? And not to say anything bad about my family, because they took care of us. But we grew up in a time where you are seen, not heard. If I said we don't talk about it, then we don't fucking talk about it. And yes, they did offer counseling, because someone asked me that before. Did they ever ask you guys if you want to go to counseling? Yeah, when you're a ward of the state and things like that happen, they do ask if your children want to go to counseling. Well, let me tell you something about that counseling, because I don't know how it is now, but how it was for me. That, I'm not prejudiced, but that white lady didn't give two damns about how me and my brother felt about our dad being in prison and our mom being strung out on drugs. You know what she asked us? And we went there 5 times before I told my grandma. So how is your grandma treating you? Do you know that you get this, and that from the state? Do you know that your grandma's supposed to be doing this? Did your grandma tell you that she loves you? Does your grandma feed you? Does your grandma this? Does your grandma that? That's all she asked about. She didn't care about how we felt.
You want to know why they did that? You know, I was in DHS custody too. They wanted you to say the wrong thing so they could take
us out to go put us in somebody else's home. And for what? You mad because my black beautiful grandma, who barely knew how to read, who's the oldest of 13 kids, took care of her kids and her kids' kids and now her kids' grandkids. You're upset about it. Why? No, baby, because she teaching me how to be strong, even though at that time that's not what I knew. But now as a grown-up, yes. But I didn't understand that at that time. But now I do, you know. And I used to be real upset with her. Like, you call me from down the street playing because my dad on the phone? He don't want nothing. He gonna say, what am I doing? Well, I was outside playing. Oh, how you been doing? But soon as when I get into, oh, well, this such and such happened. Oh, okay, well, let me talk to somebody. Oh, okay. Write him a letter for what? He doesn't ever respond back to anything that I say in the letter. But to my grandma, it was a respect thing. You know, because in the Bible it says that you honor your parents no matter what. You know, no matter what they do to you, no matter how they treat you, make you feel, talk to you, drag
That's
you.
why I stopped doing that. That's why I stopped reading that. Because you're not going to convince me that my feelings
are not valid.
Yes.
That I don't matter.
Ain't no man's, I don't care who's in that Bible. You're not gonna convince me that Bible is. I'm supposed to be treated like shit. My feelings are going to the back burner. I'm depressed, damn near wanting to kill myself. But it's okay, because they get the respect.
And my dad, and I should totally respect everything that coming out of your mouth and how you're treating me and dragging me and saying this and that. You know, I'm sorry, but everybody's gonna be held accountable for what they said and did.
Exactly, and that's how it should be.
And it took me until I moved here to be able to like move on from those things. My dad didn't get out of prison till I was 21 years old. And I remember the day I decided I was leaving to go to Alabama. It was on my grandma's birthday, and everybody was going to this Chinese restaurant called Sing Hai. They don't even have it no more. It used to be downtown Phoenix. And I had moved out, and I had got my own apartment, and I had been moved out for a little bit. And I just had graduated high school, and I moved out and stuff, and my dad was still in prison, and my mom was still doing my mom. Okay. And I went to my grandma's house, and I was like, gave her her birthday present. I was like, I love you. I was like, Nene, like, I'm leaving. My plane leaves in a few hours. Like, I'm going to go to Alabama. And she was just like, your dad is going to be getting out of prison in a few months. You're not going to be here. You're not going to wait for him. And I've never in my life been disrespectful to my grandma. Told her no. And in that moment was the only time and the first time I ever been true to me and my feelings and what I wanted. And I told her, I'm tired of waiting for him. He don't care if he cared about me. Why would he keep going to prison? Why would you keep making those choices? These are choices that you make. Choices you make. Nobody else made the choices for you. You decided when you woke up that you was going to go be reckless. Despite all the years that you've already took from me.
Yeah.
And the look on her face, so disappointing. I've never been so broken. I wanted her to be happy for me, to be proud that I'm finally stand up for myself.
Yeah.
But in that moment, she was so disappointed in me. And it broke my soul the whole ride. And my brother took me to the airport. And I just cried, and me and my brother argued. But all I could think about is I've been going to prisons my whole life. I've been waiting for you to be a father to me my whole life. And now that I've found a man that loved me and loved me out loud, and if you grew up with your father in prison, then you know exactly how it feels to find someone to love you and to be there for you no matter what. You don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to lose it.
Yeah.
Because I never had it.
Yeah.
And I wanted it so bad. And how could I let him keep taking from me? So I left. And all he said when he came home, when I talked to him, I hope that nigga do you right since you felt like he was more important than me. And hung up the phone in my face.
Yeah, see, people don't talk about the trauma that comes with. Zora said, I'm crying. Oh, your testimony is so beautiful. They don't understand the hurt and trauma that comes along with being a family member of the person that is locked up. That's why I wanted to do this segment, because how do y'all know unless we ask? Y'all think that because they keeping in contact and they writing letters that you thought that that was making her feel good? But no, not saying that nobody, I'm just saying, but nobody actually took the time to ask her if she was okay and what she's going through. Mentally, what did that do for you mentally as a kid, and then having to grow up and then where you're at now?
Gosh, you know, as a kid, because my parents were already in the streets when I was born, you know, I didn't go to school a lot, and I was behind a lot, and I felt like I was dumb. I didn't learn how to read till I was 5. Well, almost 7, actually. I got held back twice in first grade, both times. It then and now, with both of my parents, who they are and how they are, I still struggle with feeling stupid, feeling unwanted. As a kid, you feel like everything that happens with your parents, and it's a bad thing, that it's your fault, that you did something, you know? And when parents are not truthful with their kids, that's one thing I learned about being a parent. I'm honest with my kids, and some people say I'm too honest with my kids, but being told lies, and that's all your brain hears, is lie after lie after lie. You don't know what the truth is. And some people think that kids can't handle things, but in reality, they need to be able to handle it in that moment, because then you end up a 40-year-old like me who struggles with anxiety. I have depression. I don't think a lot of myself. I'm insecure in a lot of ways. The best thing that I offer is being a mother. And I never wanted to be a mother because I didn't have one and I didn't think I could do it. And growing up with parents who just give you away, you feel like you don't deserve love. It's hard for you to forgive yourself when you do things or you hurt people when you're not trying to, but it took me years. I've been divorced since 2011, and it took me until recently to forgive myself for the part I played in it. And I was stuck. And it took until I had kids to realize really what type of man my dad was. To let him go. He may love me, but a person who didn't grow with me can't really love me because you don't even know me. And when you had those opportunities on those weekends, you men and women who are in prison right now or has gotten out or whatnot, and you have those visits with your kids and those parents or whomever drag their kids to this environment, your job as a parent who can't be there for them all the time is to be there for them in that moment, to let them have that, to let them pour out so they won't be stuck. That's your job. Not to tell them to hush. Not to tell them that it doesn't matter. They matter. Their feelings matter. They fucking matter. Because then you grow up with this mentality of they didn't love me. They said I was nothing. They treated me like trash. They told me that my feelings wasn't nothing. That I have no right to speak up for myself. I have no right to go anywhere but where I am. Because that's how far they got. And that's not right. In no way, shape, form, or fashion is it right to hush a child or a person that has hurt or pain and they're trying to let it go. That's how people commit suicide. That's how people hurt themselves. I tried to kill myself 3 times. You have to allow people to grieve it, no matter what it is. And when you're in there, you're all locked up, you have time to think about all these things. And the next time when you ask your baby mama, your whoever that brings your children there, you remember that. And you remember that that time is for them to pour out to you how they've been feeling. Because you're the parent. Just because you're away doesn't mean you still not obligated to be a parent. Just because you can't physically be there all the time doesn't mean you can't be there for them in that time when they need you. Doesn't mean you can't hold them. Doesn't mean they can't cry out to you in that time, because that's what they need. Not need for you to tell them that they don't matter. Why would you do that? Because you're broken. Because you don't know how to stand up for you. Because all you know how to do is be street. You don't know how to be vulnerable and get down on your knees and pray. Because I know that my household and my grandma wasn't the only one that had a prayer line going on at 4 in the morning. The whole house could hear it. Prayer changes things. It really does. And when you leave it there and you allow him, he will heal you. But you gotta try. You can't just leave these kids out here. You can't just leave them out here to fend for themselves and thinking that their family or you, whoever is going to help them and guide them, because everybody doesn't do that. Mm-hmm. And everybody doesn't have that. Mm-hmm. And it's not fair to them because you made a choice. Mm-hmm. Every choice, that thing that you decide to do has a consequence, whether it's a good one or a bad one. And you can't just be like, oh, I'm in here, I can't do anything. You can. Mm-hmm. You can talk back. You can listen, really listen. Read the letters, respond back. Not just talk about what you need. Boy, you don't need nothing. Mm-hmm. Everything that you need, they have in there for you. This is things that you want. Getting what you wanted and all these fantasies or whatever happened that got you there is the reason. You need to just listen to your kids. Mm-hmm. You can still be a parent. Mm-hmm. That's time is something that you never get back. And you know how many hours I spent in those prisons? You know what I learned? How people lie. And how people can show a person what they want to see and get you to believe it. Mm-hmm. And I learned how to play spades.
Right.
Like, those are the things that I learned. Like, I learned more about prisons than I did of learning about my dad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They said truth.
Like, he wasn't interested in getting to know me and my brother or what we had going on. No, he was more interested in talking to the girl, you know? Like, things that people don't think that we recognize. Like, I remember plenty of times that she would wear dresses, but she ain't got no drawers on. And, you know, like, but why you keep tying your shoe looking under the table, Dad? You're not paying us any attention because you're too busy trying to pay this ass some attention that you can't even touch. Mm-hmm. But I'm your kid. I'm your child, but you care more about this broad than you do care about us. And even when he got out of prison, he still, and his wife got out of prison too, a little before him. He wanted my grandma to tell us that we couldn't come live with him. And she told him, no, you gonna tell them the reason. Because his wife didn't want us to live with them. But you can go live with her and take care of her son. Mm-mm-mm. That's not even your child. And the daughter that you had with her. But it's just FB and my brother. That we were here before them. But we can't come live there though. Mm. You want to come over here and talk to us and hang out with us when you want to. You want to do for them but not for us. I tell you that I need $200 and something. Oh my God. I needed $200 and something for something for cheer. But you want to keep lying to me. Tell me you're going to bring it, but never brought it. But I see you, you know, big, living it up with your wife and her son and my sister. You know, men, they get so, I mean, I don't know what they think about when they be in prison and how you go in your mind and think that it's okay to go and be with another woman and take care of her kids, but not come home and be a father and take care of yours.
Blows me.
You can be there for go to all their games and do all this with them, but it's just like, oh, the others that I had before, you know, like, oh, because they are teenagers now, I don't need to do that. The nerve of you. So we don't deserve your love because we're already too big for you to get to know? Choices. Yeah. Choices.
Mm. Did you get treated unfairly ever by any of the staff members?
No, you know, the people in the prison, the guys, they were really nice. They treated us nicely. They weren't rude, you know, anything like that. Or, you know, we, as a matter of fact, I remember a few times because they have a lot of rules on like what you can and cannot wear and stuff like that. And especially when I was younger. And I remember we had on these blue sweatsuits, me and my brother. And it was like, damn, I want to say like 30 or 20 miles away to get to the Walmart.
Right. And they made y'all go change.
And well, actually, no, like they allowed us to like still wear the bottoms, but we had to, like, my aunt had some big old sweaters in her trunk because this time it was my aunt and my grandma that went to this prison. And they allowed us like to change and but still wear the bottoms, you know, because some of them can be really rude and really mean and don't care, and you got to go drive, change, come back too tight, showing too much, or you know whatnot. And you know, like food visits, they used to take a long time because they want to check all the food, they want to go through it before you even get back there, and dogs smelling it and stuff like that. And so I never had any problem with the security at any of the prisons. They were all nice and respectful and things like that. And never had any problems really with the men in there. Just, you know, as I got older, you know, some of the looks and stuff would change because, of course, like my body changed. You know what I'm saying? And so, but like I never said anything like to my dad. I just would, you know, like me and my brother, we would talk about these things later on, you know, and he would just be like, you know, like they ain't nobody gonna do nothing, you know, just reassure me that we would be fine and stuff like that. But I'm happy that nothing like that ever happened.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Absolutely.
Now, before we wrap it up, first of all, your input. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, like
it just really helped me a lot.
Yes.
And you know, I know like a lot of people say that when you talk about things a lot, like you're not over it. But actually, when you stay quiet, that means you're not over it.
Yes.
That means you're not healed from it. When you can talk about it and you can share your experience to heal someone else who's quiet, that's when you are healed. So don't be afraid to talk about it. That means that you can finally move on and you can receive love and peace and things like that. So don't be afraid to talk.
And don't ever get it twisted that when you're speaking about it and you're crying, that it's a problem. It's not a problem.
It's a healing.
Get it out. This is contrary to what you may believe, this is the therapy that you never knew you needed. You said exactly. Talk about it as much as you need.
Yes.
I think it's very important to me to speak on the things that hurt me, the things that shaped me to be who I am, and where I am now. You know, some of us, y'all look at us and be like, oh wow, you know, they put together. But you don't know what we went through to get where we are.
Yes. You can't even walk 2 seconds in my flip-flops, let alone my stilettos, baby. Okay? So, yeah, it just takes time and learning, but you have to want the growth, though, you know? Yeah. And if you don't want the healing and the growth from it, then you're just going to be stuck there. It's just like you're on a merry-go-round that keeps going, and it's going so fast you can't even jump off.
And imagine being in that merry-go-round and being quiet. Wait, you think you quiet like this. But in your head, oh my God, when I say you mind fuck yourself to the point where you want to bang your head into the goddamn, I swear, like.
That's when you start to get these anxiety and you got to get real depression.
Yes.
You start to develop being like bipolar and different things like that. And I'm only saying that because I suffer from these things. And so when you are so quiet and like she said, your brain keeps going and it goes and it lives. And so if you don't start letting this mouth live with it, you're going to, you gonna be messed up.
Yeah.
You're going to be.
And again, like I said, it's Prison Jail Felon Talk. This is the last day until next month. Don't think that we're not going to, I do this every month. And it's not just from people who did prison. I don't never want y'all to think that it's just us. Like, there's the other side to it, which is family and how they feel. And to answer what you said earlier, you said, how can I get to know someone who's not even showing me their true self, and you can't even show your true self? You're right. Because we can't even show you our true selves because we don't know who's watching.
Because you can't be vulnerable inside there.
No.
Because then you're going to get taken advantage of.
So, and I'm not making no excuses for your father at all. But at the time when you was telling him, it shit made him probably want to cry. But he was like, I don't want to hear that. Suck it up. Because he has to do that.
And it didn't take me actually till now for you to say that, for me to think about it that way too, you know. And because I mean, you know that you have to be a certain way when you are incarcerated, you know, but if you've never been in it, then your mind doesn't think about those all those things, you know what I'm saying? And it takes for someone to tell you, like, this is I probably couldn't say nothing.
Yeah.
You know,
and then we have to put our mind and our everything into a whole nother version of us. Not, we don't even recognize that person. Some people can't get out of that
when they come out
at all,
and that's the hard part, because then it's harder on them, and it's so hard on the family too. And then it takes them, like, you know, sometimes it takes them a year, sometimes it takes them a decade,
you never
even to get out of it, and you're just stuck.
And then guess what? You've lost the time with your family that you were supposed to reconnect with.
Yep.
They don't know you. You don't know them. And then you like, well, you know me. You visited me.
No,
no, you don't.
No, I don't.
Not at all. Just because you visited the whole time I was locked up does not mean that you know them. And it doesn't mean that I know you.
It really doesn't. And letters, that don't mean nothing. It's when you come.
Especially when the letters aren't even answering the questions that are being asked.
It's just going around them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So today it's really not even going around them. It's
just not
superficial shit.
Yeah.
Things that they think you want to hear.
And that's not what I'm talking about. I can care less about you got my name on the angel tree for Christmas. My uncles get me plenty of stuff
actually,
for Christmas. I don't give two rats.
Matter of fact, the Christmas tree, the angel tree, they don't even give, the churches that do it, they don't even give a fuck about us. Cut it. So, I would love to have you again on next month.
I would love to.
And anyone else who's brave enough to share their story, because I'm telling y'all, and I know that didn't even touch the surface. I know you got more to say.
And you know, I talk about some of this in my book that I wrote.
Yes,
and
can't wait.
I do talk about a little bit of my childhood and things like that in the first chapter, so you can get to know me a little bit more. But these things just makes you be better, and you can't be, if you're a parent and you have all these things inside, you have to get it out so you can be a better parent. So because you don't want your kids to grow up with this, you know, and you know, people ask me, you know, will you move back to Arizona? Never in my life. Visit, you know, but never in my life. My son was 2 when I moved here. He 13. My daughter was 1. She's about to be 12.
Never
Visit,
again.
but living, no. You got to go to what's growing you to make you better. And sometimes family, not always blood, and that's okay. And sometimes you got to let those people go and love them from afar, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm not gonna lie,
Nothing wrong.
When my family, you know, first disowned me, it hurt like a motherfucker, because I was like, damn, we was tight, like, how did this happen? But once they stayed, the longer they stayed away, the more I realized, oh my God, it's like a weight has been lifted
off my shoulders. I needed this. Like,
thank
I can
you.
be my own.
Yes.
Like, I really can, you know,
because
like,
we didn't match.
No. And I get that, you know, and it's been 13 years since I talked to my dad, but he likes to control, you know, and I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, but you ain't been there for me ever.
Yeah.
And I'd be damned if I let you control my life, who I talk to, who I date, who I have kids, or what? No, baby, because I've been taking care of me since I could take care of me. And a lot of things I learned on my own, and I'm proud of it. Self-made woman, and love it. And in a way, I'm happy things happened the way that they did. Does it hurt? And some people might be like, girl, why would you say that? But I wouldn't be nothing that I am right now if I didn't. And if those things didn't happen. It really, truly made me who I am. And I love it. Everything that you get in life, if it's just handed to you, you're not going to respect it.
And people ain't going to respect you.
I had to work my ass off to get everything that I got. And I appreciate it, and I appreciate that life and what I had and what I was taught. You know, I appreciate all of it and respect all of it. Mad because I didn't understand it at the time, but happy that it grew me.
Facts.
May have broke me,
Mm-hmm.
but it was all doable.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the pieces are not perfect back together,
Mm-hmm.
but baby, a whole lot of them are.
Mm-hmm.
So
I do want to leave y'all with this real quick, and it's really random, but it goes along kind of with today's episode of, you know, family members, children specifically, waiting on their fathers, you know, thinking that their fathers is going to be the father that they always wanted them to be. I had a really good friend when I was younger. Her name was Jennifer. I'll never forget her because I actually really, really liked her. Okay. But I remember she kept telling me, you know, my dad's getting out of prison this year. And she was excited. You know, she always talked to me about her dad. Like, but again, she got to know him through prison. She didn't know him like out here like this. The first time that he discharged, like I said, I'll never forget this. When he discharged, the happiness that I seen come out of her, just, she left school early. She was just so excited. And then I didn't see her for a month. And I was like, where's I'm calling her like I'm excited for you. Like, I want to, you know, celebrate with you. Come to find out, the day that her dad discharged, he raped her. After she waited all that fucking time.
Just for you to hurt me even more. You've been praying on me this whole time.
Oh, Jennifer, if you ever see this, you know, I don't have to say a name. If you ever see this, just know that I think about you every day.
Oh my God.
And not in the way that I did as a child but when I found that out, I wanted to kill her father. I did.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that I don't have my friend no more.
Because you took her.
Bitch, and she waited on you.
And was happy. And you took that away. You snatched it away.
As a kid, that did something to me. And then I ended up going to prison. And I was just like, all I could think about was, I wonder if he was still stuck in his
prison.
Yeah. But that's no excuse. But I'm wondering if he was still stuck, because you have to be somebody and something that you're not.
I wonder if that's just who he was before he went. They say you go in one way and you sometimes you come out a whole lot worse. You know, and only the lucky ones come out better.
Exactly.
And I pray that she came out better.
Me too.
And she became a lucky one because I was a lucky one.
Yeah, definitely. So shout out to all the children that had to suffer. Like, we love you. Absolutely. Shout out to all the children that's still dealing with it right now to this day as an adult. Sending you so much love, positive vibes, and energy.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being on the couch.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Thank you so much. This was amazing. Thank you.
And everybody that tuned in, thank you. If I have any new followers, I will follow back. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. It's the Couch Chronicles, where it ain't no fucking limits. I'll be back Monday on the couch. I love y'all. Wow, Rae. I couldn't wait until you got